Two military superpowers, one ultimate prize, and a race that will determine who controls the skies for the next 50 years. Right now, China has just stunned the entire defense community by revealing not one, but two mysterious sixth-generation fighter prototypes that weren't supposed to exist until 2035. Meanwhile, the United States, the undisputed king of advanced combat aircraft, has hit the brakes on its next-generation air dominance program because Congress won't pay the $28 billion price tag. But that wasn't the whole story. China may have just stolen the future of air combat. The timing of China's reveal wasn't accidental. These jets represent a calculated move to seize air superiority, while America wrestles with budget constraints. We're witnessing the opening moves of an aerial arms race that could reshape global military power forever. The stakes couldn't be higher. Whoever wins this technological battle will dominate the Asia-Pacific theater, control critical shipping lanes, and project military force anywhere on Earth. That's enough power to reshape international borders and determine which nations rise or fall in the coming decades. What happened next shocked every military expert on the planet. Photos exploded across Chinese social media, showing sleek, angular aircraft flying alongside China's J-20 stealth fighters. These weren't computer renderings or wind tunnel models. These were real prototypes, airborne and operational, years ahead of every Western intelligence estimate. The future arrived a decade early. But to understand why these jets are so terrifying, we first need to decode what makes sixth-generation fighters the ultimate aerial predators. Sixth-generation fighters aren't just improvements on existing technology. They're a complete revolution in how wars will be fought in the skies. Military analysts have identified 7 defining characteristics that separate these aircraft from everything that came before. First is open system architecture. These jets are built like smartphones, designed to receive rapid software and hardware upgrades as threats evolve. Think of it as future-proofing for warfare. Traditional fighters become obsolete within decades, but sixth-generation aircraft can adapt and upgrade continuously. Obsolescence could become a thing of the past. Second comes next-level stealth. We're not talking about the stealth technology in current F-35 Lightning II Redu fighters. This is invisibility so advanced that enemy radars won't just struggle to detect these aircraft. They won't even know they're being hunted. Third is artificial intelligence integration. Not your basic chatbot AI, but advanced systems capable of cyber warfare, data fusion, and real-time coordination with other aircraft. These jets can literally think and make tactical decisions faster than human pilots. Fourth, optional piloting. Human pilots can hand off entire missions to AI systems. Enabling remote operations when sending humans into danger zones becomes too risky. The jet can fight even without a pilot inside. Fifth are immersive cockpits, with virtual displays projected directly onto pilot helmets, replacing physical control panels entirely. Pilots get a complete 360-degree view of the battlefield, seeing through the aircraft itself like it's made of glass. Sixth is man-on-manned teaming. Imagine drones flying as loyal wingmen, or entire swarms of autonomous aircraft overwhelming enemy defenses while working alongside a single manned fighter. It's like commanding an aerial army from a single cockpit. Seventh, directed energy weapons. Laser systems mounted directly on the jets, capable of intercepting incoming missiles or disabling enemy aircraft at light speed. No more waiting for missiles to travel across the battlefield. On top of these 7 core features, sixth-generation fighters boast new propulsion systems that could enable suborbital flight paths, satellite-killing capabilities, and digital engineering methods that compress decades of traditional development into just a few years. This isn't evolution, it's revolution. But China wasn't done shocking the world. At the end of December 2024, Chinese media exploded with grainy photos and shaky videos of what experts now believe to be the J-36 prototype. Developed by Chengdu Aircraft Corporation, this mysterious aircraft was spotted flying alongside a 2-seat variant of China's J-20 stealth fighter. The sheer size of this prototype raised immediate alarms. The J-36 appeared nearly as massive as the heavy J-20 itself, but featured a sleek delta wing configuration, with extended chiny lines running to the nose. This wasn't just another fighter. It was a strategic bomber-sized aircraft with fighter-level agility. What caught Western intelligence completely off guard was the timeline acceleration. Back in 2019, Dr. Yang Wei, chief designer at Chengdu, publicly predicted that China's 6th-generation fighter wouldn't arrive until 2035, a full decade away. That timeline was echoed in 2021 by Chinese state media, with satellite photographs later confirming a flying wing design similar to America's NGAD concept. Then, at the Zhuhai Air Show in 2022, China showcased a tailless fighter model that strongly resembled Lockheed Martin's experimental X-44 Manta design. But now, just 2 years later, the prototype was flying for real. China had compressed what should have been a 15-year development program into less than 5 years. That's not just impressive engineering. It suggests a level of technological leapfrogging that has Pentagon planners scrambling to reassess their assumptions. China didn't just catch up, they skipped a generation. Then a second prototype appeared, and everything changed. The massive weight of China's J-36 prototype was immediately obvious to aviation experts. Its twin-wheeled main landing gear, a design feature typically reserved for heavy bombers, signaled that this wasn't just a fighter, but a strategic weapons platform. From certain angles, the lower fuselage bore resemblance to the J-20, while the broader nose suggested a cockpit wide enough to potentially seat pilots side by side. However, the restricted canopy visibility didn't guarantee a twin-seat configuration, leaving analysts guessing about the aircraft's true purpose. Even more intriguing, the J-36 prototype spotted in December 2024 looked nothing like the tailless aircraft that satellites had captured at the Chengdu Aircraft Corporation airfield back in October 2021. Instead, this new jet featured something straight out of Northrop's never-produced YF-23 prototype. Engine exhausts cleverly positioned on the upper rear fuselage. This design choice isn't just about aesthetics. Upper-mounted exhausts dramatically slash the aircraft's infrared signature, making it far harder for heat-seeking missiles to lock onto the fighter. It's like making the jet invisible to an entire category of weapons. A single design tweak just neutralized billions in enemy weapon systems. The fighter's wing design stunned aviation experts even further. 5 trailing edge control surfaces on each wing, along with split flaps near the tips, could be used selectively during missions to replace traditional tail controls, manage yaw, or deploy as air brakes when needed. It's like having multiple aircraft configurations built into a single design. But one feature truly baffled military analysts: an air intake positioned on the top of the fuselage. This is an extremely rare and risky placement in fighter design. Add 2 more intakes on the lower body, and whispers quickly spread about a possible 3-engine configuration. That's enough thrust to power a small city. This jet could outmuscle anything America has ever built. Most experts believe the J-36 uses the proven WS-10C turbofan engine from the J-20, while China's highly anticipated WS-15 engine continues development. But 3 of these engines would generate approximately 90,000 pounds of thrust, enough to launch this massive fighter vertically, or maintain supersonic speeds across continental distances. 90,000 pounds of thrust. That's like strapping a Saturn rocket booster under a fighter jet. Leaked photographs revealed 2 mysterious openings on either side of the nose, likely housing an electro-optical sensor and an RF array for side-looking radar capabilities. And like any modern stealth fighter, the J-36 features internal weapons bays that experts believe could be far deeper and longer than those found on existing aircraft. Then, on December 26, 2024, another surprise emerged. Just when the world was still processing Chengdu's J-36 revelation, Shenyang Aircraft Corporation, the same company behind the Flanker family, and the stealthy J-35, unveiled their own 6th-generation prototype. This second aircraft looked more traditional than the J-36, featuring sharp, swept wings, bold triangular extensions, and twin engines fed by angular Daedalus supersonic intakes positioned beneath the wing roots. The design philosophy was clearly different. Where Chengdu prioritized size and payload capacity, Shenyang focused on pure speed and agility. But here's where things get murky. From the limited photographs available, experts struggled to confirm whether this aircraft even had a traditional cockpit. This raised a chilling possibility. Was this China's next-generation stealth fighter? Or could it actually be their most advanced combat drone? What if China just built the first true AI warplane? What both prototypes shared was a tailless design philosophy. Removing the vertical tail surfaces dramatically reduces drag and boosts performance for sustained high-speed maneuvers and long-range cruising. It's the aerodynamic equivalent of removing the brakes while racing. Both aircraft also appear to carry massive internal volume. ideal for storing extra fuel and weapons. In the vast Asia-Pacific theater, where distances are measured in thousands of miles and aerial refueling tankers become prime targets, this extended range capability becomes a game-changing advantage. But here's what could change everything about this aerial arms race. The sudden appearance of China's sixth-generation fighters creates a critical decision point for the United States. The pressure now falls directly on President Trump's administration and Congress to decide whether America will surrender its decades-long air superiority advantage or invest the resources necessary to maintain technological dominance. The U.S. Air Force has already requested $2.74 billion for sixth-generation fighter development in fiscal year 2025, with total projected costs reaching nearly $28 billion by 2029. Add another $9 billion for collaborative combat aircraft, drone wingmen designed to fly alongside the NGAD, and the price tag approaches $40 billion. That's more than the GDP of most countries, spent on a single weapons program. But losing air superiority could cost trillions. But here's the other perspective. If these aircraft can truly do everything promised, representing the absolute pinnacle of human engineering and technology, then maybe a price tag reaching hundreds of millions per aircraft isn't unreasonable. The legendary F-22 Raptor still dominates skies decades after its debut, proving that superior technology maintains relevance far longer than cheaper alternatives. The US Air Force isn't just building one aircraft. Reports suggest they're developing two distinct NGAD variants, a long-range version designed to dominate the vast Indo-Pacific theater, and a shorter-range variant optimized for European operations against potential Russian threats. Running parallel development programs demands massive resources and technological coordination. Like China's mysterious sixth-generation projects, America's NGAD program is expected to feature a tailless design for maximum stealth and performance. The US Air Force has actually been testing NGAD prototypes since 2020. By 2023, 3 different demonstrator aircraft were already conducting flight trials. So while the manned fighter component is currently paused, other critical programs are racing forward, including those drone wingmen and adaptive cycle engines from General Electric and Pratt & Whitney. The real arms race is happening right now, in secret hangars. Despite China's head start, the United States maintains several critical advantages that could determine the outcome of this technological race. American military planners have identified 4 key strategies to maintain air superiority supremacy. First, Congress must eliminate the budget constraints. In a technological race where hesitation means defeat, every month of delay allows China to extend their lead. The $28 billion price tag sounds enormous until you compare it to the cost of losing air superiority, potentially trillions in economic and strategic consequences. Second, America holds a decisive edge in network-centric warfare. While China focuses on individual aircraft performance, the US military has spent decades perfecting the integration of fighters, drones, satellites, and ground systems into a single connected war machine. It's the difference between having a few exceptional athletes versus fielding an entire championship team. Third comes modernization of existing platforms. The F-22 Raptor and F-35 Lightning II continue receiving software and hardware upgrades that extend their relevance well into the 2030s. These proven aircraft can bridge the capability gap until NGAD achieves full operational status. Finally, alliance partnerships provide force multiplication. Countries like Japan, Australia, and the United Kingdom share development costs, contribute technological expertise, and accelerate overall progress. No single nation, not even China, can match the combined technological and financial resources of allied democracies working together. America may be outspent, but it's not alone. But the window for maintaining American advantage is closing rapidly. Every satellite photograph of Chinese prototypes conducting test flights represents another step toward operational deployment. If China successfully fields sixth-generation fighters before America's NGAD program reaches operational status, the global balance of power could shift overnight. Chinese military planners would gain the capability to pressure Taiwan, tighten control over South China Sea shipping lanes, and limit Washington's ability to project military force across the Pacific. That means $3.4 trillion in annual trade flowing through those shipping lanes could fall under Chinese military control. It means democratic allies like Japan, South Korea, and Australia could find themselves isolated and vulnerable. And it means America's role as the global guarantor of maritime freedom could end after nearly 8 decades. The economic implications alone are staggering. Control of Pacific airspace translates directly into control of global supply chains, energy resources, and technological development. The nation that dominates these skies will shape international commerce, diplomacy, and security for the next half-century. This isn't just about jets, it's about the future world order. But this isn't just about military hardware or technological supremacy. It's about whether democratic nations can maintain the military strength necessary to protect individual freedom, economic opportunity, and peaceful international cooperation. China's rapid 6th-generation development represents more than just impressive engineering. It signals a coordinated strategy to challenge American military dominance, while Western nations struggle with budget constraints, political divisions, and competing domestic priorities. The next few years will determine whether America can mobilize the resources and political will necessary to maintain technological superiority, or whether we're witnessing the beginning of a new era where authoritarian nations set the rules for global security. The aerial arms race has begun. The prototypes are flying. The budgets are being debated in Washington and Beijing. And the nation that wins this technological competition will write the security architecture for the rest of the 21st century. The stakes have never been higher. The timeline has never been shorter. And the outcome will determine whether your children grow up in a world where democratic values and individual freedom remain protected by superior military technology, or whether they'll live under the shadow of authoritarian air power. Subscribe now, because the next chapter of this aerial arms race is already being